You're listening to Distraction Therapy. Conversations and sound walks at a time of change. With me, Rob Watson. Hello. It's Thursday the 14th of October and I'm just heading to Devon. I've just been talking with a taxi driver about going to Cornwall, so I've just got to go and pick up my tickets from the ticket collection machine, and then I'll be getting on the train to Birmingham and then changing from Birmingham to go to Totnes. So I'll keep a kind of set of updates. I've got loads of stuff with me, I've got loads of bags,
First class accommodation is towards the rear of the train. Bicycle spaces are at the very front.
What you do need to do, well, normally it used to be 14, I think, but that's before COVID, so then you think about that.
Birmingham New Street Station, which is not my favourite station. It always seems to be a pain to get about and travel around this station. There's so many platforms that even though they spent a lot of money refurbishing the station, it just isn't easy to access and use, but as long as you're not here too long, then it's not too bad. So I've got about a 10-15 minute wait, and then I'll go down to the platform and get the train, the Plymouth bound train, which takes about 3 hours, just over 3 hours to get to Totnes. So plenty of food with me, plenty to drink. I'll keep pushing on to the next bit, get my reading done, get some music listening to. Speak to you in a bit.
Good morning, I'm Lauren, part of the Upwell Catering team today. Just to let you know that catering is available in Coach B towards the rear of the train. We've got hot and cold drinks, as well as different packs of sausages available. We also have a range of alcohol which are in £3 to £10. You can find a menu of we have at bottom to the Wi-Fi page on our website at crosscountrytrain.co.uk. We are in level 1 passenger catering area. Please take all of the seat parts and not public seats. Which look up the area before entering. Outside this, upwards inside card and contact office. Such catering and seats with the rate of the train. Hope you have a journey and thank you for travelling with us.
You're pretty swell now, 'cause you're pretty tough. But I don't have to tell you how hard it can be to get by. You never bothered about anyone else. You're well educated with no common sense. But love, that's one thing you really need to get by. All your troubles come from yourself. Nobody hurts you, they don't care. Just as long as you show them a really good time. All the things you used to do, a trip to the movies, a drink or two, they don't satisfy you, they don't tell you anything new. Except to myself, 'cause I've not much to say, and there's nobody else who's ready and willing and able to know me, I guess. And listen to me, I'm not finished yet. There's something to tell you that I can't forget. Just have a really good, really good, really, really good, really good time. There's a girl I used to know. Her face is her fortune. She's got a heart of gold. She never goes out much, but boy, when she does, then you know. She's got no money, well, maybe a dime, but she knows what she's worth, and that's reason why she's gonna make it. She's got what it takes. You'll appreciate that. She's probably late, but I know and you know, we all know, she'll have a really good time.
Shortly be arriving at Bristol Temple Meads. Please be mindful of the gap and take care when stepping onto the platform. Also make sure you take all of your personal belongings with you. Tiverton Parkway, Tiverton Parkway.
Football team. No.
You're only having one person in catering area at a time. So for somebody being served you arrive, please just wait till they've left the area before any trim. Payment is by card and contact fee. Pub catering and coach fee toward the rear of the train.
Shall we drive Totnes?
Hello, I just got into Totnes. This road though is really busy, it's a pain to cross, but the station's just behind me, and that way is the castle and the town. So I'm going to take a stroll into town, find somewhere for a coffee, and hopefully meet up with Lucinda or Alice, or then head up to Dartington and take my time. And just, actually it's sunny. I wish I brought my sunglasses and my shorts. I didn't think the weather was going to be like this, but yeah, it's nice. Okay, see you in a bit.
Laissons ça aux marées de septembre et voyons après coup, voyons ce qui reste, la trace des années fières, les matins qui s'étirent dans l'appartement clair, la lumière du dehors, la descente dans la foule, réveillée de la vie, la tête haute, le regard, souriant pour une fois, le rire du pluraliste, devant nos mines radieuses, le retour, l'escalier, la cuisine et la chambre. Abordages rêves et la laine trop chargée, puis la peur de savoir que l'on est responsable de l'enlisement des lieux, ton visage un peu pâle, les journées qui s'endorment et puis le manque d'essence pour oser dépasser les trahisons d'hier.
Hello, good morning. It's about, what time is it? Oh, it's just 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. I think it's Friday I'm losing track of what days things are. It's Friday the 15th of October, and today I've travelled down yesterday from Leicester to Totnes, and I'm at the Dartington estate, which is where Sound Art Radio is based, and I'm just out for a little stroll. So kind of catch the morning. It's definitely autumn now. It was a lovely evening yesterday because it was just peaceful and quiet, and it was we had a pint together, Lucinda and Alice and I, at I think the pub is called the White Hart on the Dartington estate, and Dartington Hall is it's like an education and cultural centre. It's got a long history. It used to be arts and drama courses run here, and I think they've started doing some more arts and drama degree type courses again. But Sound Art Radio has been based here for a long time, over 10 years, and I've been visiting on a regular basis, not recently due to the pandemic, but I just find it a really invigorating attitude to media. There's a kind of openness and an ability to explore and experiment which you don't often get with forms of radio in particular, which can often be quite formulaic and quite systematic, whereas this is about finding and helping people to locate their creativity and to explore the world in different ways using sound and forms of radio as well, rather than maybe just regurgitating or imitating a standard commercial kind of model. So it's based in Totnes. Totnes is it's a lovely little town. It's quite interesting. There's definitely something in the water around here. There's lots of arts groups and people interested in kind of alternative arts and culture. There's definitely a kind of uniqueness to the events that go on. So while I'm here, I'll try and hopefully I'll get a chance to wander into Totnes maybe this evening, see if there's anything going on in any of the bars. I'll go for a pint. And yeah, we're here to do an event about community radio and the ability or the way that community radio can work with people involved in community radio, can work with researchers from universities, from academic institutions, in order to be able to facilitate better understanding and engagement with and participation in forms of research. And what we're doing is I'm playing a part in helping to evaluate that. But the event is run by Lucinda and Alice, who runs Stellarium Media, has a production company which contributes towards this, and that supports Sound Art Radio. And the idea is to bring people together to learn how collaborative conversations can be developed between community radio producers is the wrong word. I was going to resort to saying people. So people who are making community radio programs, and researchers, academic researchers who are working on environmental projects, cultural projects. It could be data, public things that inform public engagement about research, and we're really fortunate that the project is coordinated via the University of Bath, who've got a very open idea of what public engagement might be, can be, and that public engagement is using forms of participatory involvement with the public, with people, with communities, not just as a kind of a distant audience that you feed information through the mainstream media, although that's an important part of the communications process, but also to facilitate discussion and facilitate an understanding by the process. So I'm looking forward to, my job here is to capture some conversations about that and to talk with people who are working on the public engagement process. So we've got Dean Veal, who's the public engagement manager or a public engagement manager from University of Bath. We've also got Kate Baker, who runs Agile Rabbit, and she's based at Exeter University, I think. I'm probably wrong, but I'll confirm it. Anyway, we're going to, tomorrow, when we meet up, we're going to have a whole day of chats and conversations and thinking and talking about how we can better use the capacity and the inherent model of engagement that comes with community media, or has the potential, let's say that, within community media to create content that is engaging and that is based on a kind of, if you like, an equal relationship and an expectation that the public aren't to be spoken down to, but we are to be spoken with when it comes to research. And the idea is that reciprocal relationship benefits both our communities and the community media people who are creating the content, and the researchers and the academic institutions as well. So it becomes a space that can be opened up where ideas can be more broadly discussed. You're doing it in the way that there is a expectation that there are people who are smart out there, or people who are interested and committed, who want to discuss these things, and that we often think of public engagement as kind of a marketing-led activity, if you like, which is often tagged on at the end of a project, tagged on at a point in a project where you kind of do the work, you do the research, and then you say, okay, how are we going to have a conversation with people about this? Can we get 5 minutes on the local BBC radio station? Can we get a news release that gets picked up by one of the local newspapers? And that's becoming increasingly difficult with the kind of intense centralisation of our media. The other alternative is really just to do things through platforms like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram, and it's a bit of a free-for-all, and there's no common ground there. So what the event tomorrow is going to focus on how we can use audio, radio specifically, although I'm going to try and capture a bit of it through video, and how we can use that in order to tell stories, have deliberative conversations, kind of learn from each other, I suppose, is the basic requirement. And let me just find out how to get through the gate. Here we go. So I'm walking down to the river. Let's close that. There we go. So what are those conversations based on? Where do we get our flow of ideas? And in order to make things accessible, I always resort back to that Raymond Williams idea that, to make media accessible, we have to deprofessionalise it. And that means both in terms of the expectations that we have about those who are using and want to engage with forms of media, but also those who produce media as well, and those who are undertaking work for the public good, so research work, that kind of thing. Have I seem to have there we go. So you know, it's really a chance to bring a group of people together and share some ideas. I'm not sure if you can hear with the birds. There's a bit of traffic in the distance, but it's in the distance. But otherwise, it's like kind of the woodland here is quite alive with some life, I suppose. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll share some content that I gather and create as I go along. I'm hoping it's going to be a challenging day, and that we learn how this process works in practice. So the idea is that we want to share this as maybe a model or an example of a good way of developing an engagement approach that incorporates in the use of our media. And I say this all the time now, as if you've seen these recent videos, you might be aware, is that with climate crisis and the demands and adaptations and changes that we need to make because of climate change and climate crisis, we, as the IPCC, the International Panel on Climate Change, said, we need total and systemic change at all levels of society. And that must include our media. So the way we go about explaining what the climate crisis is, and the way that we go about bringing people along to make those changes, those social changes that are going to be necessary, then we kind of have to do this in a way that we can't just do it with mouth-to-mouth, hand-to-hand engagement. We've got to do this through mediated forms of engagement and practice, and that includes shifting and changing the structure and the nature of how we think about our media, so that we are not bound by the same rules, by the same concerns, but we open things up to a different set of expectations and reference points and ideas, and so that we can challenge the status quo of that has brought us to the point of potential climate and ecological collapse. So for me, this is rooted in a kind of real sense for, you can't bring about climate change, you can't deal with climate change, and you can't deal with climate crisis if you don't deal with social inequality and have a model of social justice, because otherwise people will be resentful, and if solutions aren't shared equitably across society, then you won't get consent from people, and if people aren't included in the process in order to have their valuable skills, expertise, the potential that people can offer to be part of the solution, then we won't achieve our aims. And that means giving up control, and that means looking at how we restructure and reconfigure our media so that that more directly relates to the lived experience of different people in different parts of our community, so that it doesn't resort just to a narrow band of self-serving people who traditionally get, the spoils and the glory of a media career and make lots of money out of it, but that is spread out into communities who are able to speak and are empowered to speak and have the accountability to one another and to the wider general social public realm as well. That we can, so it's not just this social media free-for-all where people are out for themselves, doing what they can without any common purpose, but that there is a legitimate social common purpose there, which our media represents and does in many different ways, and doesn't try to impose limited, narrow solutions onto anybody, but opens up the space for a diversity of access and gives people the opportunity to make their voices and their point of views heard. And there's a two-way process with this. One is making sure that people have equitable and facilitated access to platforms and the media tools of media production, but also that people are prepared to learn. So the kind of media literacies, which I would say aren't media literacies, but they're civic literacies, they're social literacies. It's just that we're putting a camera or a microphone in the process, and we're sharing it with other people, those concerns and those discussions and those points of engagement. We're sharing them with other people. Right, I think I've chatted enough. It's a really nice way to start the day. I'm going to go and have a wander around the Dartington Gardens. We had a late night walk through the gardens in the dark last night, Lucinda and I, and that was great. I could hardly see where my feet were going. We got followed by a cat, which followed us for kind of 2/3 of the way around, and then it disappeared. And the moon, it wasn't a full moon, but it was really bright. And it was a shame really, because it was a bit cloudy, so you couldn't really see the stars. But I had a good night's sleep in the accommodation, and I'm looking forward to kind of having some breakfast, making some more coffee, and then meeting up with the sound art people later on this morning. So yeah, let's just enjoy the view for a moment. There's a herd of bulls. I wish I'd caught it. I was just a little bit too late, but there's a herd of bulls just run across the field. Not bulls, cows. Nice fresh morning aroma. Okay, I'm Rob Watson here. I am here in Totnes in Devon, and I'm staying at the Dartington Hall estate. I'm in the guest house. And I'm just having a morning walk around. Let's have a look at this sign, see if it gives us any indication of, there we go. This is the estate, Dartington Hall Gardens. Oh, somebody's got through. There's a cow got through, a little one. I wonder if it'll get back. Okay, I'll try and let somebody know. I'm not sure that they want a cow wandering through. Anyway, last night Lucinda and I came for a walk in here in the dark. The moon was shining just above in front of us. It's like a ship. And I might use that moo as my ringtone. And we had a walk around here and we were followed by a cat which came down from over in that direction and kind of wandered down the ridge with us. We got some fantastic colours on the trees. It's autumn and it was quite warm yesterday. The sun was out. Today it's very misty, so it's a lovely kind of whether the sun's going to break through again today, but it was certainly very I was surprised how warm it was yesterday. I felt overdressed, and it's really only just getting light, kind of 8 o'clock, and that feeling that actually winter is nearly upon us. So, you know, we're mid-October and it's Friday the 15th of October, about 9 a.m, and that feeling that you know, soon it'll be dark at 4 p.m. For a few weeks, and we have to adapt to our winter life, and we have to think about changing the way that we keep ourselves warm, although it's not particularly cold at the moment, though you know, who knows what our winter's going to be like this year. So the train, it was quite pleasant walking down yesterday. Went through Birmingham. It was from Leicester. I never liked the section from Leicester to Birmingham. The cross-country line isn't great, but the direct route, it's the train to Plymouth that comes through to Totnes, is always quite nice. It's never packed. It was busy up to Bristol, and then after Bristol it kind of eased off a lot. And then when we got into Totnes, had a walk around the town for a second and met up with Lucinda and Alison. We had a coffee, talked about the project that we're working on. Oh, there's a bug hotel. So the bug hotel is designed to facilitate the growth and the diversity of insects. It looks jolly nice. I wonder how much they charge for. Oh, there goes a squirrel. I'm wondering how much they charge for fresh towels. Sorry, that was terrible. Also, so Totnes is a really interesting place. I did a quick look on YouTube and looked for some walking tour videos, and Totnes comes across as it's like a little island of some might describe it as weirdness, but it's distinctive and independent, quite well off in many ways. Hotel accommodation and Airbnbs and things like that are quite scarce in the area, so it can be quite expensive if you're staying here for on a commercial basis. I was fortunate enough to be able to get a room in the Dartington Hall hostel, which worked out about, I think it's £30 a night, something like that, which I'm very happy with. Shared showers and bathrooms and kitchenette, but a private room otherwise, and the bed's quite comfortable. I had a good night's sleep. But yeah, Totnes, I've been a couple of times, and the flavour of the place is growing on me. When I talk to friends here now, they can tell me all sorts of weird and wonderful stories about growing up and coming from Totnes. I think what you see on the picture postcard frontage is not what the place is actually about. It's a very different place than it appears in the marketing brochures, and there's different currents to life in the town and the neighbourhood. So there's a kind of strong sense of independence here, and it's fascinating to see how that is facilitated. So here, if I recall correctly, I'm not sure whether you'll be able to hear it. It's great to see lots of horse chestnuts on the floor. The conkers will be great from then. But there's a change in that you can hear the effect from the concave wall creates an echo, a slight resonance. And we're looking out over the gardens. There's the hall over in the distance. I'll be walking over to the back of the hall. I'll be walking over to there in a second. Climb these steps, and it's very nice in spring and summer. It's a lovely place where you see families, and maybe a lot more retired people. Well, let's just have a chat with this woman. There's a small cow. The cows came over in the corner at the gate in the corner, and a small calf managed to hop over the...
They're in the garden?
One is a small calf just at the gate on the exit there, so... All right. This is a very steep kind of series of embankments that run into, like steps that run into the gardens. We've sat here and played with walkie-talkie radios, and on a day that we ran a few years ago for kids, and we were doing remote signalling, signs, which was really good fun. It's nice, there's nobody here. This is sweet chestnut. Cows are still mooing. You can hear them from here. I wonder if that lady's managed to get the calf back over. I don't know how I'd do that. Wasn't wasn't something I felt competent to try and do. So that's Dartington. Quite pleasant. You've been listening to Distraction Therapy with me, Rob Watson. Find out more at robwatsonmedia.net or follow me on Instagram and Twitter at RobWMedia.